Hello, welcome to Dark Night Healing. My name is Julie. I'd like to talk to you today about empaths and protecting your energy. Sometimes in situations in life, people will use us, and they will use us in ways that we don't necessarily always see, because as empaths, we have an energy that seems to really attract people to us. And they can tell usually right away that there's something different about you. And they might even say it. But they can also have a tendency to use this energy for their own benefit. They will steal your energy and you'll wonder why you're so drained, and all of a sudden they're just bouncing all over the place. Or narcissists really like empaths, because narcissists like to take and take and take and take, and empaths like to give. It makes empaths feel good when they give to others. So for a narcissist, this is a great thing, but eventually the empath gets drained and there's nothing left to drain, and then the narcissist is angry because there's nothing left, and it's a vicious cycle. For me, I am a projector in the human design as well as an empath, so it's a bit awkward and harder for me, because not only can I feel everybody's energies and everything that's going on in the room around me and absorbing that, but when I focus on people, then I'm absorbing more of that person's energy into me as well, but then they're getting some of me. So it makes it very difficult for us in public spaces to discern sometimes what our energy is and what someone else's energy is. As an empath, we can easily go from being in a happy mood to an angry or sad mood just based on someone else in the room that we're picking up on, and it won't be our energy, it'll be theirs. And if you've taken the time to learn about your abilities, then you'll be able to identify fairly quickly if this is not your feeling or if it is, and be able to remove yourself from the situation. With projectors, things work a little bit differently in that the person is going to see their reflection. So you're reflecting, you take in their energy and you magnify it and reflect it back to them. Now, if you don't know you're a projector, this will be an endless cycle of major battles until you learn that you're a projector, or if you have strong projector channels, because your world will flip upside down and it will turn into like World War III. The fights can be verbal, physical, whatever it is, but they can happen instantaneously and get out of control immediately. And it's not necessarily because you're doing it on purpose. It's just that your design is literally taking in that other person's energy and giving it back to them 2 or 3 times. So it's a back and forth signal of if you're rage or crying, and so you're just bouncing off each other this energy, and so it's amplifying. In order to stop that, as a projector, you need to remove yourself from the situation and walk away. Because the situation isn't necessarily yours to be handling, and you can't necessarily see that. Empaths should also walk away, because you're just going to feed that energy to them that they're looking for. And then when you're drained, it's going to do nothing except start a fight because you're drained, and the narcissist or the other person, energy vampire, wants more from you, but you don't have anything to give. These are two very different and difficult scenarios, and as an empath projector, I can have a hard time sometimes in certain situations, because especially if there's too many people and they're all trying to get me to focus on them. I find it quite difficult and overwhelming and demanding, because you can feel the energy field of each person, and you can feel it drop down, and the disappointment each time that you're not focused directly on them. As a projector, I find this very difficult. As an empath, I find this difficult, but I'm learning to set my boundaries that is their disappointment and they have to deal with it, because I physically cannot give my energy to a group of people directly. I can focus on one person at a time and put my energy directly into that person, and then stop and shift to somebody else. I can't have somebody trying to interfere or interrupt that. It does cause a lot of problems. So for me, I like to give myself a lot of alone time. I like to do a lot of meditation and cleansing with sage and Palo Santo and different incenses to keep my energy as clear as possible. Especially when I'm coming home, I like to cleanse myself. My home is my personal environment, and as a projector, this is where I feel safest and able to express myself the most. So I keep this place protected. Very few people come to my house, and those who have should feel privileged because I don't allow a lot of energies into my home. I've learned over time that even family energies can cause issues amongst your family, and you don't want that. So make sure you take the time to really protect yourself, protect your energy, and set your boundaries strong. Because when you get a little lax, thinking that, it's okay, I know that what I'm looking for and what I'm not always. Sometimes, when you're having a good time or something, or drinking, which can help lower your guard, anything that will, a bad mood even can help lower your guard so that you don't have those up all the time. And just being in that energy, even for a small amount of time, can affect your mood and what energies you bring home. Also, what attaches to you. Taking out time to put energy into discovering who you are and where your boundaries lie and who you want to portray yourself to be is important. And reputation back in the day used to mean something. It doesn't seem to mean it's that much now unless you're rich. But I always take pride in everything that I do. And everything that I do, I put in my best effort that I can. Physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, everything that I choose to do, I try to put in every effort that I can. until I've exhausted all efforts. And to put pride in oneself is one of the greatest things ever, because no one can take that away from you. So when you protect yourself and you show up for yourself, then no one can use you or manipulate you in any way, because you are there for you, and you better be there for you, because no one else can be there for you the way that you can. Not your husband, not your children, not pets, not grandma, not mom. Only you can show up for you the way you can. Only you can see things through your eyes and feel things through your energetic field to protect yourself. So you have to learn to develop these senses and develop your clairs and use your sixth sense to train yourself to protect yourself from these energies, because they are a real thing. Everything in this universe is a vibration, a frequency. Every word, every syllable, every hum, every book, every tree, every animal is a vibration. A lie is a vibration. A half-truth is a vibration. Everything can be felt as a vibration, as an energetic feeling. For those of us who have clairs or psychic abilities, for me, I have a knowing. I don't know how I know, I just know. Recently, I took a healing trip. I went home. Home for me is a lake where my grandparents had a cabin for a very long time, about 40 years. It was my home and my sister's home because my mom moved us pretty much every year, sometimes twice a year, until I moved out of home just before I was 18. So we went home every summer to the cabin. After my grandfather died, about 10 or 12 years after that, my grandmother sold the cabin. It devastated our family, and mostly me. I wasn't allowed to be part of the process. I wasn't invited to come and pick out anything that I wanted left behind from my grandpa. I was given things that they felt I should have. And for a long time that hurt. And for a long time I was quite bitter. But I decided to go home on a healing journey. And I made peace with that part. Because although I know that my life isn't going to be as I dreamed it being, of sitting on that porch and watching my kids swim on the dock and bringing their friends out, that I could still go home and still visit. It's not completely gone. And that helps refresh me and protect me. So if that's something that you need to do for yourself, to learn how to protect yourself, then that's something you should do. But you definitely need to learn to protect yourself energetically. And you need to learn to put up the boundaries. Because if you don't, people will steamroll you. And boundaries are only bad to the people who are taking advantage of you. If someone is taking advantage of you, you will know by putting in a boundary that says no. Because they will immediately get mad, because how dare you? They don't have access to you like that anymore. No, they don't. You don't need to have access to me like that anymore. And those are decisions that you have to make daily. You have to choose them daily to protect your energy, to choose to examine what your idea of nourishment is. Because whatever you eat, whatever you ingest, and whatever you put in your energetic aura is your nourishment. So if you allow people into your energetic aura who are not good nourishment, it's going to affect you. It's going to steal your energy away from you. So you need to protect yourself on all levels. Also, alcohol will help. What's the word I'm looking for? Alcohol will open your energetic field. You won't be able to block. You'll think you are. You'll think that, nobody knows. Nobody can tell. You might be drinking away the pain. So you think, because it's numbing you, but it's only numbing you. It's actually opening up your energetic aura, and other people around you will be able to feel everything. Especially if they're an empath, a sensitive who has trained clairs. So if you have friends that maybe are empaths, that have psychic abilities, and maybe have taken a step back, you might want to examine some things in your life, because we're not going to tell you what the issue is. We shouldn't have to. If we can read it that much in your energy, you know what the problem is. You 100% know what the problem is. And we're not going to have that discussion with you. It's not our responsibility to fix you. Just because I can feel it, just because I know that you're lying, being distrustful, being untruthful, fibbing a little, just because that word felt like a lie, it doesn't mean I'm going to call you out on it. I don't have to. It's not my responsibility. You're either going to be truthful or you're not. That's your choice. I'm just going to treat you the same either way. I'll probably just nod and smile. If I'm and I will. If I'm going to be honest with you, I'll say, do you want me to be honest? If you say yes, well, I'm going to be honest. And you ain't going to like it. That's why I always say, you want me to be honest. So, if you're one of my friends and you're watching this and you ask me, and I say, do you want me to be honest? Be prepared for a brutal, honest truth. Because I don't lie. And I don't half-ass it. And if I can feel it in your energy, you know what the problem is. And I'm not your mother. And I'm not going to sit there and try and pull it out of you. You want to tell me? Tell me. I'll tell you what the problem is. If you don't, not my issue. I got my own life to live. So, empaths, projectors, empath projectors, sensitives, anyone working on your psychic abilities, do protect yourself. And when someone tries to use you, stand up immediately and say no. I will not stand for this. You cannot use me this way. Honesty is 100% the best policy. I don't care what anyone says. White lies, no matter how much you think, are still lies. And not telling somebody is a lie. Just because you don't want to hurt their feelings doesn't mean it's not a lie. But also don't talk behind people's back. These whole situations I'm going through are nothing but people talking behind their backs. And then trying to get me to be part of the narrative. And I will not have that. I will not have that. I will be nice to everybody. And I won't call you out on your shit in the middle of a bar. But I also will not continue to put myself in an energy that knows it's doing something wrong. I don't have to explain it to you. You know what you're doing is wrong. I can feel that you know that what you're doing is wrong. So it doesn't need my explanation. And if you're my friend, you know that. And if you're my friend, you also know that I'm not going to do one-sided narratives when I know more than one person. So protect your energy. Protect yourself before all others. Unless they're your kids, obviously protect your children first. But when it comes to people who are trying to hurt you or steal your energy, protect yourself first. Don't let them walk over you, and don't let them use you. Because you deserve better. Because I know I do. I don't deserve to be treated this way, and hell no if it's going to happen again. Third time, and I'm done. Everyone will know now that Julie's not playing games. Well, sometimes you have to be brutally honest, right? And that's what I am. So, if you'd like a personal reading, or you need to get an intention item or a salve, you can definitely get a hold of me on any of my platforms. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. You can also email me at darknightheal@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Other than that, have a great day, and remember, protect yourself, my friends.